Welcome back to the show. Tough times never last, but tough people do. A Wednesday night in Melbourne. If you're going through a difficult issue tonight, I hope you get better, and make sure to have a lot of fun this weekend. Go and spoil yourself. A lot of people are never happy. They're always waiting for the next big thing, and then and not once do they say, it's a beautiful world, it's a great world, this is a fun day. What I like about Beanie, he comes on the couch and he tells me the way it is. Not pretentious like a lot of people. A lot of people are running around smiling. They're always pretending to be happy. And deep down, there's a war going on inside, and some get so depressed that they suicide, and we hear it every week on the news. So, mate, that's fantastic that you've, number one, you know, come clean with your mental disease. Number two, that you got some help. And number three, how you're rebuilding your life. And a lot of people out there, bro, who want to maybe suicide or you know, resort to drugs and alcohol to mask the problem. What's some advice how to snap out of it?
I don't think it's an illness that you snap out of, Mick, to be honest, mate. It's a long-term thing. And
is it like a broken vase? Once it's broken, it can never be the same?
No, not at all. No, I wouldn't agree with that. I think, again, everybody's different, and everyone has a different journey with their own individual illness. Yeah. With me, as I've explained, I had to get rid of that bucket full of water, and it took a while to get rid of that. And there was a lot of talking with the psych. I didn't take medication. I'm not a medication kind of guy. Antidepressants, for me, not the answer. No. The answer for me was talking, and I felt I needed a new direction in life. And I'd always looked at life. I always take it one day at a time, and appreciate everything that happens in life, you know. Even the small things at 7-Eleven, you know, people using their manners. And no one uses their manners these days, please and thank you. So I pull people up on that all the time. But enjoying or trying to live in the minute, in the moment, rather than, as you just said, people are scratching to make money. Oh, next week, make more. Next week, make more. Next week. That's
so true. I'll just interject a few words. We're always striving, we're always competing, we're always trying to outdo each other, you know. The wonderful me stories, the ego. It's good to shatter that bloody ego on the ground. It's not a competition, is it? Well,
we die. We're born by ourselves without any money, and we die by ourselves without any money.
Yes.
And what happens in between, really, about the money, is bullshit.
We're here to be loved and to love, isn't it? I think at the end of the day, all those loving relationships is what we remember on our deathbed, isn't it?
Life is about relationships, Mick. It's as simple as that, mate. Life is about relationships and other people and helping others. And I found, I've always tried to help others, and I found, particularly with my illness, that I made an extra effort to do that, and that was a catalyst in healing for me. But people did
take off, didn't they? You noticed a lot of fake friends and acquaintances. All of a sudden, the phone didn't ring anymore, did it?
Yeah, hangers on, I call them. You know, people you hear
elevator music.
Elevator music, yeah, correct. It didn't worry me at all. In fact, I've had those conversations, and I'm happy that they're not there anymore. I've surrounded myself with fantastic people now, good, solid people, understanding people, non-judgmental people. Who don't see me as a big strapping bloke like I am, who just see me as me. It's all about the heart. Yeah. It's not about how you look, how much money you got, what car you drive. It's about this. Yeah. And that's what I always look at. I don't care if you're the Prime Minister or a guy at the Salvation Army. Couldn't care less. It's about this. And that's how I get through life. And I find if a lot of people took a leaf out of my book and saw people for what they are, rather than their status, etc., etc., I think the world would be a fantastic place. That's just my opinion, Mick. That's a great opinion, viewers, and worthwhile listening to. And another thing I liked about Steve Beanland, that's right, his name is Steve, is how you you like laughter, you know. He rang me a couple of times. Did you want to come down to the comedy club, Mick? And not only did you go to the comedy club, but you're going to get into comedy. The Comics Lounge in North Melbourne. Look, the Comics Lounge. I got a calling to go there, and I had a pretty turbulent last year, Mick. I was no longer suffering from PTSD, but I had other issues which I won't go into here, work-related stuff. And I had a calling one day. I was driving down Errol Street, North Melbourne, and I went to the Comics Lounge. And the moment I walked in there, I felt at home. I met Tony, the owner, and his sons that run it. Yeah. Great people. And I've formed a brilliant association with them. And of course, I can't swear too much on this couch, but I am a funny guy. I remember working the van with you a few times. And I can always see the funny side of things, and Anyway, I've become very close with Tony and his sons that run it, and I'm soon going away on a trip, and when I come back, I'm going to launch into that career. Good
on you, mate. And the great man's going to the US, to LA, in a couple of weeks' time?
Yeah, a couple of weeks' time to meet a couple of people, Australian people, that are nominated for Oscars and things.
You've been to the States a couple of times now in recent times. What's happening over there?
I've got a dear friend in Delray Beach in Florida, single dad, 4 kids. He's an ex-cocaine addict, ex-alcoholic, fantastic bloke. Him and I are like brothers, and I've got plans for him and his life, so I'm due for a visit, and I'm also going to LA as well.
Good on you, mate. So you met him when you went through a bit of a tough issue, and you connected and helped each other out.
Yeah. He was a big part of my healing, actually, because of his journey in life, which is amazing in itself. He was a doctor's son from a small town in the USA. Silver spoon in his mouth, had everything, lost it through cocaine and alcohol.
And Beanie, 22 years in the job in the Victoria Police Force, looking forward to going back?
24. No. No, I'm not going back, Mick.
Had enough?
Yeah, no, there's too many things there. No, I'm moving on with other things.
Elevator music.
Elevator music, Victoria Police, I've done my bit. Time for someone else to have a go, mate.
You've got that great tattoo, ARS. Now explain about that. That's a very elite squad. Not many police members have got the privilege to work with some of those tough operators.
Look, it's just the logo from the Armed Robbery Squad. I only got it recently, but it's something that I've been meaning to get for many years. It's very special because of what happened to Gary and Rod, and that's the reason I have it. And it's there for life, and I'm proud of it. Yes,
and you should be proud of your career. And although it's time to move on, it's a different phase of your life, isn't it?
It's time for me to move on, but my old boss at the Armed Robbery Squad, Ray Watson's a dear friend of mine, and he used to be funny, but I'm a bit funnier than he is now. However, he's a very dear friend of mine, and to a certain extent is guiding me along the path a little bit, and I've got other good people in my life.
You've got a lot of good people. Beanie, you're a legend. Thank you very much for sharing.
Pleasure, Mick.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Tough times never last, but tough people do. Have a lovely week. Have a lot of fun this weekend. Love and best wishes, and we'll see you next Wednesday night. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.